The entry for the execution, we have best entries and we have other one that can be just good enough entry. So let us look at the best entry. The best entry are, for example, let's start with this first one. The ticket cost before the cloud. Ticket cost before the cloud is one best entry. I mean, for me, it's my best. This one. And then ticket cost before the cloud, but Kijun and Tenkan are inside the cloud. It's also good. It happened sometimes also in 15 minutes. Like Tenkan and Kijun are inside the cloud, and you have a Tenkan entry there. For example, here, you see Tenkan and Kijun are inside the cloud. The cross has happened before the cloud, and then Tenkan and Kijun are inside the cloud, and then you can be selling just at this level and place your stop loss. Yeah, all right. It's also a good, but even though it will be a little bit late, but it's also good. Then you have inverted Kijun. This one is one of the best too. One of the best entry. The inverted Kijun is one of the best. It is the one that confirms you the new direction is starting. The for example, yeah, you have the inverted Kijun, right? The Tenkan must be above Kijun and you must be buying. So this one is also the best that I like very a lot. And then you have the KSB. KSB and inverted KSB thing and the KSB inverted Tenkan are also best entries because, for example, this one is a KSB. When KSB is a KSB buy, when Kijun goes above SSB. And sometimes you can have this other one, this other one, where you buy here because KSB started, the cost between Kijun and SSB started here, and then you bought the maximum entry was SSA inverted here. So those are the also best entry because those are the entry that happened on the secure trend. So now let us look at the twist entry. Now there is something about the twist entry. Sometimes the twist entry can be good because twist is the zone, right? But the problem with the twist entry, let us say that you sell here. If you sell here, the problem is that it is very threatening to sell here. You sell here, you place your stop loss just on SSA. But the problem is that you sell wide on you sell on a twist, but the Tenkan and Kijun are still pointing to the upside with their inclination. So it shows you that we still have bullish volume, uptrend volume. So your stop loss will be very threatened by the candles. It's always best to sell when Tenkan is already bending to the downside like this. That's why the twist entry is very tricky. You need to be sure that at the twist exactly the price will move to the upside. Because at the twist exactly, the price doesn't always move to the upside. Let us take this twist. For this one, the price moved to the upside immediately, right? But it's not the case for all of the twists. This one is also a twist, but the price does not move immediately to the upside. That's why the twist entry is actually very threatening for you. So now you have the Tenkan Mountain. The Tenkan Mountain as a as a as an entry is also threatening. It is also threatening. because it is a zone first of all. It can be good if you know that the direction, if you know the direction of the trade. It can be good if you know the direction of the trade. That's when it can be good. Um, the network is taking a little bit. The Tenkan Mountain entry can be good if you know the direction of the trade. But if you don't know, if you are sure about the direction of the trade, but if you are not sure, but how can you be sure? For example, this one is a Tenkan Mountain entry. This one. You can only be sure with A plus setup and direction. But you need to be very sure to enter that way. Because if you have entered here and then you place your stop loss just below this one, you see that when you enter just right here, right? You place your stop loss at this V. So you enter based on this Tenkan Mountain and you place your stop loss based on this one. But the problem buying this way, no matter how you are sure, right? You are not even sure. So this is not a good entry. It works sometimes, but it's not as comfortable as this ticket cost. Yes, you lose maybe some few people here, but it's not a loss because the trade will go long and longer. Rather than risking the same amount of risk in your capital playing with Tenkan Mountain tapping for you to buy. So the inverted Tenkan is also very good, a great entry for me, but good, mostly good. For example, this one was an inverted Tenkan because Tenkan was bending to the upside already, but it's also it is just good. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. For example, here for the gold, during the economic news, we this candle just tap in, but the trades continue. This candle tap your stop loss, then but the trade continue. So it's not that always secure. Not that always secure. For this one, this Tenkan, inverted Tenkan is secure, right? Play in. Not that it is secure, but it works. It worked, but it will not work always like that. But one thing is sure is that for end of the correction, it works very well. So it is good. Take it in consideration for the end of the correction. Like yeah, right. This is the Tenkan bend into the downside, and then it is the end of the correction. Then you can sell from this candle. So you know what to expect with this type of configuration with inverted Tenkan. But if you want to be more sure, you can just sell this ticket cost after the cloud for the push and place even your stop loss at the inverted Tenkan here. If you want to be more to take only the best entries, take only the best entries and acknowledge the presence of other entries, other good entries. The SSA Mountain too. The SSA Mountain is also an entry. That is, it doesn't happen always, but I realized that SSA Mountain, when it happens, it really work. It really works. It doesn't happen always, but when it happens like this one, this SSA Mountain, right? This is the mountain of SSA. When it happens, it really works. It's a good reversal point. Ticket cost after the cloud. This is a push. For example, we had this push. It's also a a great entry. TK cross here below the cloud, after the cloud. Like we had the TK cross going down here. We have another one here just after the correction. So the push is also good here. So you have something very great as an entry. You have SSB and inverted SSB. Okay, let us start with SSB. The problem with SSB is that SSB, since you enter in lower time frame like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, right? 1 minute. The problem taking entry at SSB there is that you will not be able to enter to find SSB working all of the time. Why? Because it's not about entering at SSB. You enter at SSB after having some analysis point, because it's not a stand alone. Those entry points are not, those entry points are just point. Entry is just a point. But a point that happened after a huge analysis of zone, A plus setup, direction, speed, phase, stages of the trend, poster, A plus max poster. You need to have all of these ingredients first. It is like cooking a meal, having a meat inside and forgetting about the sauce. Like all of the ingredients or the spices that you put in the sauce. It is all of the ingredients and the spices that you put in the sauce that make this meat a good meat. You understand the point? This meat is a good meat because you had a lot of ingredients inside the sauce. You cannot be throwing the sauce away and saying that only the meat is the good one. Like you throw all of this, you don't do all of this exercise, all of this analysis, and you say that I will just take my entry. I just pick entry. I just want one element. No, you will lose. SSB doesn't work like magic. You get the point? SSB will work after the analysis because entry is just 1 point. The stop loss is just 1 point. The entry is just 1 point. The holding is just 1 point. The take profit is just 1 point. You cannot rely on 1 point to make a living with that, right? You need to have a whole understanding. For example, this SSB is not work. If you came here and said, I will buy all of the SSB, this SSB do not work. This SSB also do not work. It's all about having a top-down analysis of ingredient that will give you a direction, an orientation. It's not about having just 1 point. So the inverted SSB, as you see, happen on transition is for the continuity. Now, SSA and SSB is the same thing. SSA and SSB is the same thing as entry. There are some SSA that doesn't work at all. For example, let us say that you told yourself that I will sell all of the, or I will buy all of the SSA, this one SSA, and then you place your stop loss at this V, you buy it, then you get stopped out. Even this one is not the buy. You buy this, then you get stopped out even before you take any profit. So it doesn't work always. It works in synchronicity with the logical intention. The logical intention is the ingredient that make entries, stop losses work. The logical intention is given by the zones, right? The A plus setup, the direction, the speed, the stages, the poster, the reversal context, the continuity context. That's the logical intention. That's where you find the logical intention. You don't just come on a graphic. You wake up in the morning, you go or come on a chart, you don't brush your teeth, you don't bath yourself, and then you start just looking for entries for the sake of having entries. No, you need to do this background before a meat, a piece of meat inside a pot have a taste. You prepare many ingredients, many spices to have a sauce around it that spice it, that make it very, very good. It's not just the meat that is good, it's even the sauce that is good. Even though the meat itself is already good because it is a meat, right? It is good to chew it. But what make it better is the whole spices ingredient that make the execution better. So it's not about the execution, it's about the lecture, the reasoning capability, the analysis capability, the logical intention lecture. Okay. Kijun is the same thing. Not all of the Kijun works. This Kijun work to the downside. This Kijun work to the downside. But there are many Kijun who don't work. Why is it that this Kijun do not work then? It is because the logical intention here is that we sell here. It's not about a buy. This Kijun doesn't work. This other Kijun also did not work. When you come and sell here, it is instead a buy point. So it's not about, like, you need to get it. Okay, it's not about having those points. I might buy Kijun, sell Kijun. It's not about buy, sell Kijun. It's about logical intention trading. Okay, then most of the time it works. So it is a good entry, best entry even. But again, in the direction of the logical intention. Now, the last entry is the Gosho Ozoda entry. The Gosho Ozoda says that to buy, for example, it is best to have, first of all, you need to have a ticket cost before the cloud, right? Secondly, Shiku must be above candles. Third thing, Kijun must be crossing to the upside. Fourth, the cloud must be crossing to the upside. And then you need to have a candle outside of the cloud above. It is from this candle that you can buy, right? This one works very well. So let's do it on the reversal. First, you need to have a ticket cost going below the cloud. You need to have Shiku going below the candles. Ticket cost above the cloud, going down. Shiku below the candles. Kijun. Wait, it is not yet good. Okay, Kijun going down, number 3. The cloud must be crossing to the downside, number 4. Then the candle must be out. So let us check if when the candle was at this point, we were already out of, yeah, the cloud was already crossing down. So that is then he said that then you can sell at this point and place your stop loss like this. That is the beginning of a downtrend. So the thing is that I don't use the founder of Ishimoku, the creator of Ishimoku entry. I don't use this entry to enter. I use, for example, rather than entering here for a sell, I will enter a ticket cross before the cloud, just right here. It will give me more room to sell, a better risk reward, right? Like 2 times his risk reward, or even not even 2 times, more than 2 times. So if you bought here, for a strategy, we buy here, stop loss just below here. But for me, I will just buy here below from the beginning of the ticket cost. But the thing is that the way I use is entry is that when you see that, when you see, for example, the candle is already here and the cloud is already close to upside, I already know that this one will be an uptrend and Shiku is going up. It is best to use it on higher time frame on pairs to identify the trend. For example, where we are now, um, are we in a downtrend or in an uptrend now? That's the question. You can use it, for example, the candle is here, so the cloud is already here, so cross down. We already have a ticket cross since, but now Shiku is above the cloud or even stuck inside, is above candle, even stuck inside the candles. So we are no more in a downtrend, we are stuck in between the two, right? That's a little bit how I understand his entry. I think him to have created the Ishimoku cloud using his formula, mathematical formula. And I think myself to have created the language that make everybody read this is Ishimoku indicator. Because it's by using this vegetal analysis language, you can actually read everything. For example, here, we for go show that we are not yet in a downtrend, right? We are not yet in a downtrend. The downtrend has not yet started because we don't have the cross of the cloud in the future. Even though we have ticket crossing, yeah, we don't yet have Kijun going down. Even though we have Shiku below the cloud, below the candles. So it's not yet a downtrend. That's how you can use it. Since you can use it like understanding that it's not yet a downtrend, it means that it's a correction, right? I use it more for understanding the new trend, if the new trend has started or not. Okay. It is more to understand if the new trend has started or not. Okay, so I have two questions for you that I want you to answer. What is the best entry in your what the fuck? What is the best entry? What is the best entry in your opinion for you? And is the Ishimoku creator entry the best? Is it the best? Goshi Ozoda is is it Gyoshi or Goshi? Ishimoku indicator creator name. Is IARS. Is it the Goshos that entry the best? That's my question. Answer in the group. Do make your and tell us why it is the best entry for you. But and make a screenshot of your best entry and then tell us. Comment for the other one, but don't criticize the positive.